हेलो। आज हम पढ़ेंगे चैप्टर फर्स्ट, क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन एंड मैनेजमेंट। As we know that all the living organisms like man, animals and plants need food for their growth and survival. The green plants can synthesize. Synthesize means can they make their food by the process of photosynthesis and by using inorganic substances like carbon dioxide gas and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Man obtains his food from plants as well as animals. In other words, we can say that man has to grow plants and rear animals to meet their requirements of food. Many types of plants are grown on a large scale in vast fields because the food grains produced by them are consumed in large quantity amounts. Wheat and rice are the two common examples. These are called food grains. In addition to these, pulses, vegetables, and fruits are also grown on a large scale because they are an important part of our food. The animals such as cow, buffalo are reared to obtain milk, whereas goat, fish, hen are reared to get meat and eggs. So, what are the crop? What is meant by crop? Crops, we can define them when the same kind of plants are grown in the fields on a large scale to obtain foods like wheat, rice, pulses, vegetables, and fruits, etc. It is called a crop. For example, a crop of wheat means all the plants are grown in the fields that are of wheat. A crop is also called fasal in Hindi. Crops are grown in the soil by the farmers. There are some varieties of crops or types of crops. Crops, all the crops are categorized into two main groups, Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif crops are those crops which are sown in rainy season, and the example of Kharif crops are paddy, maize, millet, soybean, groundnut and cotton. All these crops are grown in the rainy season. So that's why it is called Kharif crops. What are the Rabi crops? Rabi crops are those crops which are sown in winter season, and for example wheat, gram, peas, mustard, all these crops are sown in winter season. Here we see what is agriculture. The growing of plants or crops in the fields for obtaining food like wheat, rice is called agriculture. Agriculture is done by the various practices, and some of the various practices of crop production are discussed here. Some various practices means what are the ways by which we can grow a crop in large production. First step is preparation of soil. Preparation of soil means it is allow the process soil to pass air through it and it becomes loose and soft, and it is done by a method that is called plowing. So soil is prepared for sowing the seeds of crop by plowing, leveling and manuring. Manuring means adding the organic materials which are obtained from the waste food and the waste product of cattle. The loosening of soil by plowing is beneficial because it allows the plant's roots to penetrate freely and deeper into the soil so that plants are held more firmly, more strongly to the ground. And it also allows the roots of the plants to breathe easily. This is called loose soil can hold a lot of air in its spaces. It helps in the growth of worms and microbes present in the soil who are friends of the farmer. Why they are called friends? Because they help in the further turning and loosening of the soil. The plowed soil is leveled by pressing it with a wooden leveler so that the topsoil is not blown away by wind and drowned off by water. The leveling of plowed soil is beneficial because it prevents the top fertile soil from being carried away by strong winds or washed away by rainwater. It also helps in the uniform distribution of water in the fields during irrigation, and it also preventing the loss of moisture from the plowed soil. Manuring means adding manure or organic substances to the soil, and it is done to increase the fertility of the soil before seeds are sown into it. Some of the agricultural implements are used in preparation of the soil. The main agricultural implements means implements are the tools which are used for loosening and turning the soil, and these are plow, hoe, cultivator as shown in the figure. A wooden plow shown in figure 4 and a hoe plow. Plow is a large agricultural tool which is used for plowing the soil in the fields. Traditionally, we use wooden plows, but nowadays we use plows made of iron pieces. Next is hoe. Hoe is also an agricultural tool which is used for removing weeds. Weeds means unwanted plants and loosening and turning the soil. It is consist of long rod of wood or iron as it is shown in this figure. There is a handle having grey. At one end of the hoe, a strong, broad, and bent plate of iron is fixed below the handle and acts like a blade. The other end of the hoe has a beam which is put on the neck of bullocks. Thus, a hoe is also pulled by animals such a pair of bullock. Hoe is a kind of modified bullock. The third is cultivator. It is also a agricultural tool which is used for loosening and turning the soil in the fields quickly. A cultivator has many plowshares as shown in figure, which can dig into a considerable area of soil at the same time and loosen it and turn it. Due to this, many fields can be plowed in a short period of time. Nowadays, plowing of large fields is done by using the tractor-driven cultivators. Our next agricultural practices is sowing. The process of scattering seeds or putting seeds in the ground soil for growing the crop plants is called sowing. Sowing means how seed is scattered in the field for the growing of crops. This is called sowing. A good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds free from infection and diseases. The selection of seeds is done by the following methods. Seeds are sown in the soil either by hand or by seed drill. There are two methods of sowing seed drills in the soil. Seeds in the soil. These are sowing by hand, which is traditional method. This method is used from the earlier time, and the modern method is sowing is done by a seed drill. The sowing of seeds by hand or manually it is also called broadcasting. In the sowing with hand or manually, the seeds are taken in hand and gradually scattered in the entire plowed field. This method is not very good because there is no proper spacing between the seeds or proper depth at which the seeds are sown by hand. Moreover, the seeds scattered on the surface of the soil for sowing can be picked up and eaten by the birds. That's why sowing of seeds by hand it is not a very good method. The next method of implementing the soil of seed is seed drill. It is a long iron tube having a funnel at the top. The seed drill is tied to the back of the plough and seeds are put into the funnel of the seed drill. And as the plough makes furrows in the soil, the seeds from the seed drill are gradually released and sown into the soil furrows made by the plough.